She survived Woke 1.0 or 1.0, depending on Woke 1, depending on what do you want to say. The first culture war by ShoeOnHead. Yep, this is a new ShoeOnHead video. This stop is not very flattering. I am very sorry. Anyway, we're gonna look at this. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yeah, we're going in. I expecting horrors beyond my and you guys' comprehension. Yeah, I would have loved to react to this on stream, but we've got technical difficulties. Anyway, we're going in.
So the other day, I saw a tweet. I feel like all my videos start out like that. The other day, I saw a tweet that said, Woke 1 was crazy.
What were they kneeling? What? Wait, what? Was that during the coup? Who are they kneeling to? Who are they? Who would be, how, are they kneeling to, like, black people? What?
Attached to the infamous photo of Nancy Pelosi and a bunch of Democrat politicians kneeling in African costumes back in 2020 to honor George Floyd. What a fever dream. There were many similar posts from people talking about how crazy Woke 1 was, or Woke 1.0 as they call it. Leftists talking about what they did wrong during Woke 1.0, how they came off too strongly with things like abolish the police, and how they'll do things differently during Woke 2.0. Yeah, you'll get him next time, champ. And don't get me wrong, 2020 was crazy. At the time, I was a bit preoccupied trying my hardest to get Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard elected. I don't want to talk about it. But yes, from what I remember, 2020 was crazy. But that was not Woke 1.0. Woke 1.0 started long ago. Long ago when being woke was called being
the BuzzFeed days, the what else was there? You get the idea. The old Reddit. What was it? I forgot.
an SJW. Back when Anita Sarkeesian was public enemy #1. And I identify as an attack helicopter, believe it or not, was a joke young people told, and not your 65-year-old uncle on Facebook. You see, Woke 1.0 was not George Floyd and COVID masks, no. This was Woke 1.0.
Learn what mansplaining is, and then stop doing
Feminism. Feminism is Woke 1.0. Yep, that's what it is. That's what it is.
it.
Hello and welcome to the ShoeOnHead channel. I am your host, ShoeOnHead. You may also know me on Reddit as every e-girl combined into one insufferable millennial woman with fetal alcohol syndrome, or perhaps just Asmongold on HRT. As I am filming this, it is the 12th anniversary of my first video on this channel. 12 years. 12 years a slave to the algorithm. So in this video, we are going to react to that video as well as a few other old videos of mine. We're gonna see how well or how terrible everything has aged, because let's be real, a lot of this shit aged like milk. Wait, why is the arrow pointing this way? What the f- We're going to talk about Woke 1.0, the ancient lore of me and my channel, how the Overton window has shifted so far since then, how stupid everything looks back then in comparison to things happening today. I feel like every morning we wake up and we are living through yet another historical event. The news moves so fast. There's pressure to react instantly, to pick a side, to condemn, to support. But the reality is, when a story first breaks, we're not seeing the full picture. And that's why for years now,
Round News, that's the sponsor. Anyway, True. Well, not really historic event. Is it really a historic event? I don't really agree necessarily. I mean, to be fair, the nothing ever happens dudes are kind of right most of the time. Nothing ever really happens, at least from what I can tell. Either way, things were a lot more tame back then. It was a lot more online, and now it's very much in public too, right? Back then, you wouldn't get shot for saying, yeah, trans women are men. You wouldn't have not get shot for that. You may have get canceled for that, maybe, potentially. But that's about it.
Now I have been using today's sponsor, Ground News. So let's quickly give them a shout out before we get into this video. Ground News is a website and an app that lets you see how news stories are being covered all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of the political bias, ownership, and headlines that helps you understand the full story and make sure you're getting both sides. They make it really easy to compare headlines to see how political bias and media ownership can affect the framing of a story. For example, let's check out this story about how Republicans in Congress continue to back Iran war despite the political risk. On the left, you'll see the headlines about this are like, Iran war keeps dashing GOP's midterm hopes. And this is how a right-wing outlet covers the same story. Tucker Carlson claims Israel controls US politics. Force Trump into Iran war. Very different focuses here, very different vibes going on here, but my favorite feature of Ground News is definitely the blind spot feature. It shows you news stories that have been covered by one side of the political spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here is another story about how the Iran war is deeply unpopular with even Trump's voters. 39 sources covered this. 64% were left-wing, and only 14 were right-wing. Right-wing media trying to avoid how even their own fan base are sick of this war. And here's a story about how Ilhan Omar's sister is apparently linked to Minnesota's fraud scandal. 100% of the sources that covered this story are right-wing. No left-wing outlets have covered this story. There are so many examples like this, and Ground News makes it really easy to just lay it all out in the open. I've been using Ground News for years now, and it is one of my favorite apps. Even the Nobel Peace Center recognized Ground News as an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. High praise. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all their amazing features. To get the 40% off discount, go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code on screen right here, or click the link in the video description down below to subscribe to their Vantage plan today. Big thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, as always, for not skipping the ad. And now, back to the video. One of the most
Wait, this isn't ShoeOnHead. Something is wrong. Something is deeply wrong. Why am I not being threatened with violence or any threats, regardless? What's happened? She's gotten old.
funny and like endearing things that have been happening lately is people will discover my channel and then they'll make reaction videos to my videos and they'll title them things like ShoeOnHead is done with the left, ShoeOnHead is finally waking up, and it's like, I've been woken up. Do not cite the anti-woke magic to me.
I was there when it was written. True though. I've been going back to some of our older videos and reacted to those too, and honestly, it was cinema. Maybe we should do that, honestly. Maybe we should do that. The old magic, the old written text. Anyway.
Nuxtaku. I was there when it was written. Before your girl was Kami Mommy.
I hope that one day she'll pick me. But it's funny, right? It's always like, right? It's mostly anime girl, anime girl, anime girl, anime boy, anime girl, anime girl, anime girl. Right? It's always that, right? It just always is, and it's kind of funny. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? It's like no ShoeOnHead video drops. It is every reaction VTuber's mission to react to it, right? It just naturally is, right? It just makes sense.
For better or worse, I was one of the founding fathers of anti-woke content on the internet. I saw this one tweet that was like, the idea there was a woke one is the most jarring to America's moment I've ever had. Really, bitch? I mean, like, I get it. I would pretend it never happened too. It was very embarrassing, but really, bitch? I was there when Bernie Sanders was talking about unions and has microphones snatched by Black Lives Matter. That was basically the birth of my entire political worldview. You can't pretend that shit never happened. I was there when a grown-ass scientist was harassed and brought to tears for daring to wear a shirt with like cartoon pinup girls on it. We need Nuremberg trials for all the 2010s. You should legally be forced to wear some kind of patch on you in public to identify you as a woke 1.0 freak. When I saw that tweet, I literally had to stop writing my other video to make this one because I was like, okay, I'm not gonna let these people rewrite history. We're not gonna let you write the history books, okay? Who do you think you are? Ghislaine Maxwell's father? So I'm going to be talking about 4 different videos here. Oppression Olympics, Social Justice League vs. Gamers, Average is Beautiful, and Questions for Men answered by
We reacted to this. We've reacted to this. This one. Yep, this one exactly. Peak.
woman. I'm not going to be showing the full videos because this video would be 4 hours long, so if you want to watch the full videos, the links will be in the description. Thank you, I love you, bye-bye. So, Oppression Olympics was my first cultural, political video, uploaded July of 2014. 12 years ago. How old were you guys 12 years ago? I am like 60.
13. I was 13. 12 years ago? That should be 13.
Years old in internet years, like 204 years old in e-girl years. If you have been here, if you have been with me for that long, you deserve like some kind of reparations or something. Like, you have seen some All right, I am about to watch it. I am so scared. I haven't watched this in years.
Hey there, pretty lady.
That's how I feel when I look at like older reaction videos. I'm like, oh god, with the back and mic quality, oh god, free me.
Do you wear heels? Do you wear makeup? Do you want to go on a diet and get thin? Don't do any of those things! Hey, I'm a feminist! That's right, a feminist in 2014 America!
Can my voice even do that anymore? 2014 America! Oh, I can.
She can. Oh god. Wow. Wow, how times have changed. How times have changed. Wonderful, isn't it? Wonderful. But true. I mean, now we still kind of have that, right? Right, there's like body positivity and like oh, you're fat phobic. Right, we had this recently with VTuber Twitter, right? This VTuber versus IRL trend, and it was kind of very interesting. You know? It's very interesting because they were basically glorifying obesity under a post saying she was chubby when she was morbidly obese, right? And the people were like, "Girl, you're so pretty," and like, "Wow, you're so stunning." And I'm like, "No, you're gonna die in 10 years. You're gonna be barely able to walk when you're old." Fun fact. Fat never goes away. Here's a fun fact. Fat never goes away in some cases. The fat cells, they just shrink, but they never actually disappear. So yeah, if you the repercussions of you being overweight, well, not even overweight, obese, right? I don't like to use the term overweight because it throws in people that are overweight, but they're technically healthy, like bodybuilders. And yeah, they also try to spread nonsense like the BMI is like not accurate, it's completely wrong and stuff when it's not, right? The BMI just does not work if you're like in the top 10% of bodybuilders and your muscle mass is like redunculous. That's really weird. I think that's at least where it's going. Unless like this whole tangent right now was completely for nothing. A classic.
Okay, never mind. Pretend I didn't do that. All right, let's go.
What does that mean? That means I want you to stoop down to my level! And that means don't go on a diet, don't wear heels, don't do makeup, don't do your hair, don't try to look pretty. I get catcalls all the time and I hate it! I just love vlogging about it though, and I love blogging about it on my Tumblr! And shaving? Forget shaving!
That was it. Tumblr. Old Reddit. Tumblr.
Don't shave! This video game character is dressed too sexily. I don't like it. Change it. I'm dressed too sexily and you don't like it? Stop oppressing me! Did you guys know that rape is bad? Rape is bad! Does anybody know this? Rape is bad. And if you're not a feminist, you're pro-rape.
Oh, good, it's over.
that-
Oh, fuck, she's back!
Feminism in 2014 America is completely pointless. It's just a label that people are putting on themselves to feel special because
Why do I sound so cute? It's just a label.
It's like hilarious, okay? I'm gonna say something that's probably rather controversial, but I will say it either way, right? they make posts about like, oh, feminism is still necessary as long as there's women looking like the way they do, like in Afghanistan. I'm like, so you are feminist and you spread your message here where it doesn't reach them, where they never see it, where they never hear it, where their support can't reach you. But at least you spoke out for it. It didn't help. It didn't do anything. It had reached nothing, but at least you did. And I'm like, yeah, wonderful. See, it's a lot of virtue signaling. It's like, I am a feminist and I stand up for women in this area in the world because nobody does for them. And I'm like, post sent, never post something like that ever again. Never do actually anything. No donations, no help sent there, no actively doing anything that can help them. Nothing, right? It's kind of right. It's always interesting, right? How a lot of these activist type of people, they just post it online, but they do not have any real world influence, right? It's just odd, or like not. They're not trying to gain any real world change. They're just posting on the internet, on Twitter, and then they move on with their lives because they really don't actually care. They just like the attention they get from it.
Well, people are putting on themselves like, oh, someone protect her. She doesn't know how bad it's gonna get.
It's the special snowflake oppression Olympics. Everyone is in this big race to be the most progressive and the most open-minded and the most oppressed. It is the strangest thing.
I'm like at the point where like if people call me any buzzword, I'll just shrug and be like, so it's like, oh, you're transphobic. I'm like, okay, and right? It's like I really just like respond to these things with, okay, and what are you gonna do now, right? I'm not gonna you know what? I'm not even gonna deny it because there's no point, right? What now? Now what? What are you gonna do? Nothing. They won't do anything. They can't do anything. They just spam you on Twitter and that's it, right? They just give up because they have no response. I think a lot of people have started doing that. They're like, and there's this current, right, with the Oppression Olympics, there's this current thing of like straight women not wanting to date bi men, which the consensus should be no means no, right? You don't need any other reason, but no means no, right? And they try to guilt trip straight women into dating bi men, even though they don't want to, because they're just not attracted to men that take it up the booty. Or any the other way, right? Straight woman wants a straight man. Fair enough. Fair enough, right? And they're trying to shame them now, which is very interesting, right? That fits right into this, right? It's like, oh, boo-hoo, we're so oppressed because straight women won't date us. I'm like, first of all, that's weird. That's kind of, it's kind of grapey. That's the first thing, right? It is. It's kind of grapey. It's the same issue as right, trans women, quote unquote, being out there and being like, oh, the lesbians won't date us, they're homophobic. It's like the exact same thing, right? Get out of here.
I have ever seen, and it's like infesting like the internet, and it's starting to seep out into the real world. And like, I really don't like it.
So a little lore behind this video before we continue. First of all, Obama was president. Okay, this was before the Trump era. In fact, this was like months before Gamergate even popped off. This is ancient. Some of you don't even remember a time before Trump. Like, Trump is your normal. You don't remember what the political and cultural landscape was like before Trump. That is like crazy to me. Anyway, at this time I was like 23, 24, working at a makeup counter in the mall, and I noticed all the people around me were changing. Their personalities were shifting. They were becoming like very unfunny and like offended at everything. It was very weird. One example that sticks out in my mind for some reason was my friend screamed in my other friend's ear. My friend was,
I believe this is a result. I believe this is a result of people no longer having real issues. With the real issues, I mean, like, people no longer have... Is there some sort of how do we put this? What they believe became their identity. And when you criticize what they believe, it's not an attack on it's not a criticism of their beliefs, it's not a questioning of their beliefs, it's a questioning of them as a human being, right? Because they have so internalized this that it became essentially it is not part of their personality, it became their personality. I think that's where this actually came from, in my humble opinion. And, right? Because, see, what I think happened is we replaced politics, we replaced religion with politics. Now, politics is the new religion. And if you criticize the religion, you're essentially, like their religion, they're going to lose their mind. Because, fun fact, this is my hot take. If your belief does not survive criticism, if it does not have a logical structure, you should probably rethink what you're thinking. Right? You should probably rethink what you believe. Because if it doesn't survive that, then it's probably not worth having.
It's like, you're gonna make me go deaf. And then my other friend was like, that's not funny. My brother's half deaf. I don't know why that one sticks out, but like, that was a pivotal moment where I was like, what the fuck is going on? Also, we later found out that her brother was in fact not half deaf, but anyway, the only thing I traced it back to was they all used the same website.
This video is mostly about
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Oh my god, is that big
The ancient lore. I remember this one.
Red? Oh my god, just blast from the past with this face here. This woman should get some kind of like compensation for being on so many YouTubers' thumbnails. She was the face of the triggered feminist SJW for years.
Number one, shut the f up for a second. Now, if you would shut the f up for the 50th billionth time.
And then it was this other person. Where are these people nowadays? I wonder what they're up to.
Tumblr is the reason there is just this outbreak and infestation of SJW.
They all transitioned to get the maximum points of oppression.
W's ruining my internets and ruining my real life and just sucking the sense of humor out of
Spaces, hobbies, all that stuff, right? It started back then, right? Just look at the Halo developers. It's all women or men pretending to be women.
so many people I know.
Tumblr was very popular back then, but there was like some dark evil energy coming from it, and I sensed it. And at the time, that is where I thought all this woke SJW shit was coming from. Little did I know, like a lot of these people on Tumblr were college kids. All this like rape culture, white supremacist bullshit was coming from the
It comes from colleges. I can confirm this because I'm still in college. It comes from there. It is taught there. We have a literal gender study. So, right, in module 3, we had basically young adult literature as like a module, as like a course, right? And one of those courses also has included gender studies. Yep. Focus on gender studies. And I knew immediately, yep, that's where it's coming from. Yeah, it's coming from the colleges. And that does not just go for the US, that goes for Europe as well, right? I would even argue that European woke people are in many cases, what's the word you'd use? Not radical. More aggressive. I think more aggressive might actually be a point I'd use, right? More. I don't know. They're just even more. Just more woke.
college classroom. And at the time I didn't know, I was just a humble makeup salesman, so I was really confused and I felt like I was going crazy. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to boot up the ShoeOnHead channel, I'm gonna vent and make a video, nobody's gonna fucking see it, I don't care. As far as I knew, there was no other videos online talking about this subject, so I just filmed it, edited it, uploaded it, and left. Like, I didn't check the comment section, and I didn't even know that Thunderfoot, a YouTuber, shared my video, and that's how it originally blew up. And from there, I found out, oh, there's more people who agree with me. I found like Sargon of Akkad and like the honey badgers. It was crazy to feel like, oh, I'm not going insane. Things are changing.
They're all in this big competition to see who could be the most progressive and the most tolerant, at the same time being the most annoying and the most intolerant people that I've ever met in my life. It is just a big, it's the oppression Olympics. Labeling yourself as a feminist, stop it. It is not a movement anymore. You do not need it. Nobody needs it. You have every single right that every guy has now. Like most feminists on the internet just hate men.
Now, if you can believe it, and this might be hard to believe while watching this video, this was transgressive back in the day. This was like crazy to hear online back then, especially coming from a woman. We're saying things like, oh, feminism is doo-doo, and like obvious ass shit, like people have a victim complex these days. That was like sacrilegious. And now it's like nothing. Now it's like wallpaper. Everyone thinks that. Every day there's like a new racist e-girl popping up and saying the N-word and then falling off a week later. Like if this video came out today, it would get like no views because it's the most basic shit ever. This video almost got me fired from my job, you know? Like they found out where I worked, they called my boss, they were like, she hates women, like all this stuff. When it first blew up, most of the comments were negative. It was just a bunch of angry women being like, you're a handmaiden of the patriarchy. Like this was before the term pick me existed.
Damn, this is so old. This is so old. I was 13 back then. That is crazy. That's so old. But fired for that is outrageous. It wasn't even that. Nowadays you have to say aloud. Nowadays, one side can say a lot worse shit and not get fired anyway.
Existed. Handmaiden of the patriarchy. That goes kind of hard. Can we bring that back? Okay, so that was the first video. Let's watch another one, shall we?
Just put that into your Twitter profile. It's not that hard. Just put it in there.
This is called Social Justice League vs. Gamers.
You may or may not have noticed, I've been fully immersed in this whole Gamergate thing since it started like 2 months ago.
Gamergate was 2 months ago? Oh my god. For those of you who don't know what Gamergate was, you know what, don't worry about it, it's not important. Some woman allegedly slept with someone and now the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Things happened in between that, but that's basically the gist of it. Editing Shoe here. I decided to actually put in a brief explanation because genuinely a lot of you might not know. Gamergate kicked off when game devs and game journalists were accused of sleeping with each other for better game reviews. A bunch of journalists then coordinated anti-gamer hit pieces, all coming out.
Which is, by the way, insane, right? That is right? You could have just gone the easier route and paid for it. Well, you kind of did pay. Anyway.
Out around the exact same day saying things like gamers are dead and focusing on how sexist and white and male gaming spaces were. It was a mess that went on for like 3 years, arguably longer, and many people cite it as one of the first major culture wars online. People went to the UN to talk about sexism in gaming. There was even
Anita Sarkeesian, the woman who essentially married herself at her own birthday party, essentially, right? Who recently popped up again due to leaked courses, video courses, whatever. And then we have Zoe Quinn, the woman who essentially drove a man into ending it. Huh, I wonder how she's doing.
a Law and Order episode about evil sexist gamers.
These guys, they just can't stand women in gaming.
What did they do to you?
They leveled up.
Also, Logan Paul.
Indeed they did. Well, equality. Moving on. The thing is, right? We went from like Anita Sarkeesian saying the male fantasy No, was it Anita? It was a different chick, I think. It was a different chick saying this appeals to the male fantasy. To Concord opening a service and closing it a week later.
Was in that episode for some reason. It was a weird time. Anyway.
Seeing good friends of mine get labeled as misogynist, sexist, racist, only for enjoying video games and seeing through this very obvious agenda pushing 100% no. I honestly could not imagine being so deluded that you actually make yourself believe that all gamers are white, cis males who are worse than ISIS. I'm not even mad, I'm actually like impressed that these people have the ability. They're like champions of mental gymnastics of the oppression Olympics.
SJW logic and facts. Oh my god.
Coming in like, I don't like this, I don't like that. I don't like this. This character doesn't look like me. She's not frumpy and below average. It makes me insecure. Change it. Change this. I don't like this. I don't like that.
But that's what I really believe this came from, right? I do believe this came from a place of insecurity, right? It's like, oh, these unstandard, they're so unrealistic. I'm like, bro, have you seen He-Man? And I mean, have you seen He-Man? I don't mean the new He-Man. I mean the old He-Man. Have you seen this? Have you seen like male bodybuilders, things that are not people are not physically capable of? Have you seen all these anime characters being humongous? Do you think men were complaining, oh, Dragon Ball looks super unrealistic? No, we didn't. We looked at this and we're like, yeah, I gotta hit the gym. We didn't think like, oh no, they're so unrealistic. We should remove that. It's weird body standards. It'll make everyone fat and ugly.
I don't even play that, but I don't like it. There could be a fucking black Mexican Chinese demi.
Almost tourist, actually. Almost tourist behavior, though it's more so like, I don't like it. I want to change. I enter this fandom. I don't like it. I don't know anything about it, but I want to change it.
Asexual, lesbian, feminist, otherkin in a wheelchair with no legs and shit. And these crybabies would still not be happy.
Oh my god, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. They still do this shit. They still invade nerdy male spaces and force them to cater to them. They're still purposely making female characters like ugly and frumpy. You still can't pander to them because they'll never.
The Halo campaign devolved. Yes, devolved, because it's worse than the original. Anyway, yeah, same energy there, right? This new chick that they added is incredibly obnoxious.
Be happy.
Take a look at this.
It's a frightening and disgusting trend in the world of online gaming. Hackers rewriting code to simulate sexual assault.
Sam Meggs stopped playing online over a year ago because of what she calls a misogynistic mentality that already exists in the world of gaming. The graphics are so good, this attack is eerily realistic. Eerily realistic.
Oh, that's sex? I've been doing it wrong? God damn!
Oh my god, I forgot all about the traffic cone. My dad literally stole that traffic cone off the street from me. I was like, Dad, I need a traffic cone for this video I'm doing. He like took it off the street and he's like, here you go. He didn't even like ask what it was for. I was just like, thanks. Like, it's good to have a supportive father in your life. So this one is called Average is Beautiful.
Race together? Wow, how progressive!
Oh my god, Race Together. I forgot all about this. In 2014, Starbucks did this thing called Race Together, where I shit you not, they made baristas write hashtag Race Together on the cups to encourage discussion about race relations with customers.
Oh yeah, let's get rid of race relation, like, tension by just making awkward conversation about.
We essentially went from Race Together, by the way, to segregation, because that's what it is, right? That's what it is, right? We essentially went to segregation. Cultures cannot interact with each other, right? We have that. But yeah, cultures cannot interact with each other. We have black-only events, black-only dorms, black-only this, black-only that. I'm like, yeah, you just brought back segregation. How funny is that? How funny is that? I thought we left the olden times behind, but I guess no. It's like kind of funny.
Race at Starbucks. Why?
They were forcing 18-year-old kids to have awkward-ass discussions with strangers about race. Yeah, can I get a tall cappuccino? Ah, yes, hello. I see you are a person of color. What the f*** were they smoking back then?
Like, I just imagine some black lady, like, on her way to work, walks into Starbucks, like, oh, can I have a latte, please? And the barista just like, ah! I see you are a woman of color.
Oh my god. I made the same f***ing joke. I didn't even remember. That's I did it again! Wow.
That's muscle memory right there.
Wow, it's almost like we have the same brain or something.
Listen, social justice, you can, like, invade video games all you want, you can do whatever you want to comics, but don't touch my Disney. I will send the hounds on you.
Oh god. Nobody tell her. Nobody tell her. Nobody.
She was a Disney girly. Until Disney was no longer Disney. The olden times. Olden days. Wow. Well, does she know that, if she knew that this would happen, right, and Disney was just producing woke slop after woke slop to the point where they're saying, yo, we gotta target male audiences again because this shit is not working?
Nobody tell her.
Weird. Weird.
This one is called internalized misogyny.
If you're a woman capable of individual thought, you've probably had the term internalized misogyny thrown at you a few times. So, what is it exactly? F***ing retarded, the end. There are so many stupid feminist rebuttals, but I think internalized misogyny has to be, like, my top favorite. Right after she's doing it for male attention and she'll learn when she's older. She'll learn when she's older, as if one day it's just gonna be like,
Happy birthday to you!
holy shit! Manspreading is an issue!
I am literally older now than I was meant to be in that skit about the future. And I did not, in fact, learn when I got older. I got worse.
These people have an excuse and a buzzword for everything. Racist, sexist, MRA, right wing.
Wait. MRA? Men's rights activist is a buzzword? That's a new one. A negative one? That's a new one. Very interesting. The thing is, right, you don't really have to react to these buzzwords, right? As they don't mean anything, right? Like, they can use them, but you will not really. You don't have to react to them, and you don't need to react to them. Right? You can't just literally say so and move on. Because, see, if you deny, when they call you racist and you deny that you're racist, they will still think you're racist. So there's no point in denying it or not. If you don't support something, you're against it automatically. Even if you don't, right? Even if you don't even have an opinion. Once you refuse to say what you think, right? We had this with, the horse vtuber. I forgot her name again. Regardless, military horse vtuber. She essentially just didn't say, right? For one, she can't because she's in the military. Second, though, maybe she doesn't want to say. They're forcing celebrities, or they're trying to force celebrities to say their takes on issues when they don't need to and have to and don't want to. But if they don't do it, they're automatically the enemy. It's interesting.
Conservative, privilege.
Oh my god, MRA. I forgot about MRAs. Oh my god. MRAs were men's rights activists. And before people were getting called like incel online for criticizing women or supporting men, they were being called MRA. Yes, it was considered an insult back then to care about men's rights. This was before the modern red pill. This was before Andrew Tate, Clavicular, Fresh and Fit. We had like Roosh V.
For the longest time, I wanted to do a post on how to approach girls that are ordering a drink at the bar. So what I did is I went to the toy store and I bought some dolls. These two are the cute girls who you want to have sex with.
That was our Andrew Tate back then.
MRA, right-wing, conservative, privilege. They do this to move the goalposts, so then you're like, oh wait, I'm not an MRA. This is why I'm not an MRA.
That's why you don't play the game. Like, I didn't know this at the time, I was naive and stupid, but you don't fight back. You don't go like, oh no, I'm not right-wing, I voted for Bernie, I have a gay friend. Like, no. Shut up. No. You just have to go, okay, and even if you're not, because literally all they have is the ists and the isms. Defending yourself from their thought-terminating buzzwords is just, it's useless. It's a waste of time. I wish I knew that back then. So this is my most viewed video ever. 10 million views. Demonetized. Haven't seen a single cent from that video. awesome. Anyway, so we all
My reaction didn't. Ha!
know BuzzFeed is the internet equivalent of ass cancer. We know this, and I'm pretty sure the website is a government experiment created to test my patience. Is that a Mr. Meeksy shirt? Oh my god, dude. Back when Rick and Morty was funny. They're known for hits like, let's get fat women to do poses only fit gymnasts can do. Being a woman is hard because compliments, and damage control, the video. So without further ado, I present to you 36 questions feminists have for men. They were just pumping out videos like this constantly. Every week, another mass-produced, corpo-slop, anti-man, anti-white video.
So when you see the word white, what comes to mind?
Privilege, I think power.
We can never let this happen again. I don't care if Trump blows up the world, okay? They can make Israel a 51st state, as long as I never have to hear,
hey fellow white guy,
ever again.
How does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump?
How does it feel to be the same sex as someone I personally politically disagree with? The man is literally Satan to these people. Like, they could have said Hitler. They basically meant Hitler. Trump is their Hitler. It's very trendy to hate Trump right now. Oh wow. I'm pretty left-leaning, but I've been called a Trump supporter like 6 times in the past few months. 6 times? 6 times? Oh, you poor baby. Try 6,000. At the time, the anti-woke, anti-SJW genre.
I was called an AI bro for saying that, if you want to beat Gen AI on a legal basis, you have to use logical and consistent arguments. Otherwise, they can just say nah, provide proof, and then you're fucked. They couldn't comprehend this, right? And by the way, the anti-AI bros are essentially the same people, by the way, right? They're the exact same people. There's a very strong overlap. But yeah, when I said this, they were like, right? They were like, but I don't care about, like, people being uninformed and uneducated on things as long as they're against it. Well, that works wonderful. Because on that basis, you could legalize anything. From shooting people to the streets to doing some ungodly things to animals. As long as people provide logical arguments against illogical arguments, the logical arguments will always win. It's like really funny. These people cannot comprehend that either, right? There's a strong overlap with this group and the woke group. It's very interesting. Anyway.
Was mostly full of liberals. It was mostly liberals criticizing, all of this stuff, all of this woke behavior. We all saw this as not real liberalism. This isn't the real left. The real left cares about, like, real equality and workers' rights and blah, 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 blah. We wanted to call our side out. Obviously, that didn't work, but we tried.
Why do you have to sit with your legs so wide open?
Men have balls. Oh my god, manspreading. One of the top issues people would talk about nonstop back then was men sitting with their legs slightly open on public transportation. It was seen as some, like, patriarchal, like, statement of power or some shit. Like, every week we had to hear about manspreading.
Manspreading is when a man spreads his physical body to take up as much space as humanly possible.
What happened to all these little...
That's just not what people do. I just spread with my legs because it's comfortable. It's like hilarious, right? We just do this to be comfortable, right? Otherwise, well, I guess the equivalent to woman spreading would be putting everything full of bags so nobody can sit there, right?
Pet issues they were all upset about. I guess, like, people can't afford houses now, right? They can't find jobs. I don't think they have energy to talk about the f***ing pink tax or manspreading or whatever.
Why are straight guys so obsessed with lesbians?
Wow, this chocolate bar sure is good. But you know what would make it better? Wow, another chocolate bar! 2 of a thing I like, together! People still come to my channel, to this day, and leave comments on my videos like, are you the chocolate bar girl? My legacy.
Why do I deserve to be paid less than you?
Because you provide less. You are less efficient. If a man and a woman in the same position, they never get sick, they never take more days off than they need to, they don't have children, they don't have anything else that can get in the way, they will, at the end of their life, have made the exact same But women are the ones that make babies, that have babies. That's the reason. Women also take more days off. Women also choose lower paying professions. Women also ask more rarely for a pay raise. And that's how the claim gap is created. There's probably a few other things, right? But remember back then, right? This is olden times, so we will never talk about, right? They were about talking about the uncleared pay gap, which was essentially all the men and all the women and their wages put into one thing and then like compared, and like women came out less because obviously they would, considering job choices anyway.
The wage gap is simply the average earnings of men and women working full-time. It does not count for different job positions, hours worked, or different jobs. It has nothing to do with the same job. It has nothing to do with discrimination. So the reason I have a button that debunks the wage gap is because back in the day you could not escape hearing about the fucking fake-ass 77-cent wage gap bullshit. I don't think you hear about the wage gap anymore because young women are starting to out-earn young men, so that's a little awkward.
Why are women perceived as the weaker sex?
So there's a wage gap now. Moving on.
Because on average, we are. It's a fact. Trigger warning. Facts. Libs.
You know what triggers that even more, right? When you say like, oh, you can, right? There's like this trend for a while. You can be glad we asked for equality and not revenge. And I'm like, you do know that you have the rights you have because men allow it. Like, you know that, right? And it can be just as quickly be taken away. Like, right? You know that, right? Because you don't have physical dominion over men. Biologically, of course. Now, if all the women were in the military and all had military power, things would be different. But that's not the world we live in. Right? You want examples? Afghanistan. Iran. Most African countries. A lot of African countries. There's probably a few Asian countries that have the exact same issue. If men did not want you to have rights today, collectively, if we as a collective decided that, of course we won't, because that would be silly, right? But if we wanted to, you'd have no rights. You'd be in the kitchen. But we don't want that, so that doesn't happen. It's that simple, right? It really is. But they don't seem to comprehend that, right? Those types of people, right? It's not like saying, oh, you should be grateful for something, right? This should be the normal, right? But like, you do know this.
Owned. Trigger warning. Facts. Okay, Ben Shapiro, calm down. I thought that was such a mic drop.
Are you intimidated by a woman who makes more money than you? That's awesome. More money.
So when women...
The problem is that usually if a woman makes more money, she's also going to go for a guy that makes more money. So that question that intimidation just doesn't even come up, because you wouldn't be with a woman in the first place that makes the money, because again, that's not what women, for most time, go for. It also comes with an insane attitude.
Make less, it's called the wage gap, but when men make less, it's just more money. Sorry, I'm like responding to the old video instead of my video. I forget how stupid these talking points were, dude. And sorry, I'm just watching these videos. I'm thinking about all the fucking people on Reddit who are like, ShoeOnHead sent me down the alt-right pipeline. Really? This is what did it? How the fuck is it my responsibility if you watch milquetoast ass shit like this and start goose stepping? I went down the alt-right pipeline. I was a Nazi. First of all,
the thing, you know what sent me to be on the right? More so? Moderately right? Leftists. It was leftists. There's no one who does a better job at making people all the things that they say than leftists. That is a reality. Shocking reality. But it is nonetheless.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You probably watched some Ben Shapiro owns college liberal compilations, and then some other YouTuber years later told you that's what being a Nazi is, and that actually having the politics of a Walmart HR department is salvation. Like, Can we fucking relax? I'm sorry, I don't understand the YouTubers and streamers from this era who have like trolls remorse about this shit, that feel guilty for making fun of this stuff back then because they think them making fun of this stuff gave rise to Trump and whatever.
Sounds like iDubbbz. Sounds like iDubbbz. Literally just sounds like iDubbbz. The one where I would actually apply the word grifter to, because he just called out his own fans when he found out what puss does to a motherfucker.
It's like, no, this stuff gave rise to Trump, not you reacting to it. Like, why wouldn't you make fun of this shit? It's ridiculous and it's counterproductive. Like, you wonder why so many Gen Z men are further right than, like, boomer men. It's not because they watched a YouTuber called BuzzFeed cringe, right? It's because BuzzFeed and things like it, the media, academia, the culture that they grew up in, a reactionary movement needs something to react to. Like, this shit, as goofy as it was harmful. It was harmful to society in general, and it was harmful to, like, the left, because this is how people saw the left. Trump wasn't elected specifically because BuzzFeed, right? Like, that's stupid. But there was this, like, slingshot effect against woke one. But more importantly, the
Butterfly effect. You poke this thing, slowly everything just, right? It was essentially the flap of a butterfly that caused a storm somewhere else. Practically.
there was a hole in politics left from a do-nothing neoliberal neocon establishment that was just waiting to be filled by a populist, and Trump filled that hole. Trump filled America's hole, he got America pregnant, and 9 months later, out pops a war with Iran. And America's like, I didn't ask for this. Well, why'd you open your legs, whore? Sorry. You were asking for it. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, now people online are like, oh, woke 2 is gonna be great. Woke 2 is gonna hit like crack.
If you thought we were woke before, you done went and woke the beast. Well,
isn't so they're calling it woke 2? Didn't they first call it dark woke? Where they can call you a slur, but it's fine since you are the enemy is the target.
Welcome to woke 2.0.
Do you want Hitler too? Because that's how you get Hitler too. We are not doing this shit again. I would kindly advise against it. If you look at everything happening now, like literal pedophiles running the world, bills being passed to merge our military with foreign militaries, a bunch of AI surveillance cameras popping up everywhere, bombs we pay for with our tax dollars against our will going to blow up children. All of this shit seems extremely petty and unimportant. But it was part of this like deeply subversive, destructive rot in society. I used to always say that culture war was a distraction from class war, and for the most part, I still kind of think that's true, but I can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, you know? I could want the rich to pay their fair share and also want my children to grow up in a world where it's not socially acceptable to hate them. Yeah, these videos were a little cringe and like, I think they ate.
I think that, in fact, I think the culture war is actually... I don't think it's really a distraction. I think it's actually very important. So here's the reason why. If you don't have a coherent culture, you can't have a society. If you don't have a culture, you can't have the society. That's why, essentially, how do you say it? Multiculturalism has failed. Because we cannot create a society that agrees upon certain things. We have now created a Western world where we have, like, subcultures everywhere. We don't have, like, oh yeah, we know for a fact this is bad. Right? We know this is our culture. This is what we share. We have, like, right? We don't have that anymore. Right? We don't have that. Right? 100 years ago, you had it probably through Christianity. Now you don't have that anymore, right? Now you don't, right? If everyone was, right, we just don't have a culture anymore that, unites us. We're now a bunch of subcultures that don't like each other on purpose, and that goes beyond class. Because... which whites and poor black, rich blacks still hate each other, based on how the culture war is going. Right? It is a reality. That's what I believe, at least.
that poorly. Some of the jokes were really cringe and like facts and logic liberals. Like, pretty much do the same videos, but now they're more like organized and structural and scripted. I do the same videos, but in a more medicated sort of way. Big Vivans has taken away your millennial quirk chunguses. Big Pharma won't let me go merp. So that was that video. I thought it would be fun to do. What did you guys think? If you want to see my full, raw, unedited reaction to my first video, there is a bonus video up on my Patreon right now, link down below.
What the fuck?
Also, all Patreon members get every single video a day early, uncensored, no bleeps. I'm also doing Patreon-only live streams now, so I would love to see you guys there. Lots of stuff going on. Link down below. Join today. We want you. Join the Shoe Simps. Join the SS today. Also, a big thank you again to today's
Crazy. Alright, so yeah, that's the end of the video. What a blast of the past, honestly. Yeah, it's crazy how it got worse. Now, looking back, it got so much worse, right? Because these words don't mean anything anymore, right? Right? Like, these people will throw any words at you, right? They don't know what it means, right? We're now at the point, right? And then also, right, back then, nobody would have thought you get shot for saying your opinion on a college campus. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.